Hello, everyone. Welcome to Digital Nomad Mastery, the podcast where we interview people how to make money while traveling the world. On this episode, we have Bryanna from crazyfamilyadventure.com. So she actually left the U.S. She left her hometown, bought her RV, and they've been traveling around the U.S. They're actually heading over to Canada tomorrow, and they're going to be making their way across the prairies into one of the most beautiful parts of Canada, Alberta, the Rocky Mountains, Jasper, etc. On this episode, we're going to be interviewing Bryanna about her travel journey, about family travel, and we'll be focusing on some different revenue streams she makes online, and we'll be giving you tips on how you can make your digital nomad dreams come true. So Bryanna, maybe you can share a little bit about yourself for viewers and listeners.
All right, great. Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. So thanks for having me on. And yeah, it is me and my husband and our 4 kids who are 9, 7, 7, and 5, and our dog. And just over 3 years ago, we sold our dream house. We sold it all, pretty much everything in it, bought an RV, and we've been traveling around North America ever since. So funny that when we started this journey, we did not know we were going to become entrepreneurs. But through this process, we've become entrepreneurs, and now we are digital nomads and living this dream life of freedom and travel and getting to own our day and do what we want. So it's great.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because a lot of us do that. We buy our dream home and we sell that dream home to follow our other dream, which is to travel the world. So dreams can change, and just because you've bought something doesn't mean you have to be stuck there paying off the mortgage until you die. So good on you for taking that leap of faith and making the other dream come true.
Yeah, I know, and it is funny because we literally thought that we would be bringing like our grandkids back to the house we were building. It was like, the house, that's where we were going to be. But as I know you guys know, every weekend went into, putting more money into the house or buying more things to put into the house. And it was like, got like so suffocating. It was like, there's got to be more that, we can do with our life. So nope, I know you guys get it.
Yeah, that's why we're interviewing other nomads who are on the same journey as us. So maybe you can share about where have you traveled to since making that RV purchase, and where have you been in the last few years?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we've done just the U.S. so far. We spent a day up in Canada prior to this, but tomorrow will be our first trip into actually getting into more of North America. So before that, we just have been traveling all around the U.S. and literally no rhyme or reason. We've bounced here, we've bounced there, we've gone west, we've gone east, we've gone south. Really, because we still come back to our hometown in Wisconsin and see family and friends and go to weddings and do things like that. So our favorite places we've been, we spent 2.5 months down in the Florida Keys. Love the Florida Keys, highly recommend it, especially in an RV. We've also spent a month in Glacier National Park and fell in love with that area. We've spent a total of, I think, 7 or 8 weeks in Yellowstone National Park. Love that area. Anytime we travel, we always try to hit the national parks. And I think right now we're at 29 states that we visited so far. So again, we still have a few we have to hit, but we're not on this like 52 state journey or anything like that. So like if we skip a few, that's all right. We just go where we want to go.
That is awesome, Bryanna. That's just amazing. So do you have any tips for digital nomads, basically, ways that you deal with some of the stress that comes up? Because obviously being in a different place all the time, I know for me, it's every time I go to a new city, it's like I'm lost. And sometimes I'm sure I'm going in the right direction. And 2 hours later, it's like, obviously. So how do you deal with the things that happen as a digital nomad in the day-to-day life?
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't think we have like a formula that says like we do this and this is how we deal with it. I think it's just more of a mindset around like lower expectations of like knowing when we get somewhere like internet may not work here. So don't schedule like a podcast I'm going to be on at 9 a.m. in the morning when we're just getting somewhere at 8 a.m. because guess what? We may not have a connection, so things like that. I think it's setting those expectations and knowing that things are going to go wrong. You're not going to sit in this beautiful office with all the technology you need, and kind of just going into it with knowing that that is probably going to happen more often than not. And then knowing what you're going to do in those situations. So like in our situation, like, okay, where's the closest Starbucks? all right, we know a Starbucks is there. We know we can go even sit in the parking lot, and get Wi-Fi if we need to. And kind of having a lot of those backup plans in place. But then I think it's also just having to be super flexible, like having to know that we're going to have to change things. And that one week this may work, but the next week that may work. And the week after that, it may be totally different. So that's a big part of it. And then the last thing is just really with the clients that I have, all of my clients know I live this lifestyle. So they're supportive of it. So I'm not hiding like, oh, I'm sitting in this office, working on your stuff. They know that there may be days when I'll have to reach out to them and say, hey, I'm going to get you everything, but it's going to be tomorrow instead of, yesterday, or, whatever it may be. Just very open and clear with my clients about what my lifestyle is like so that they know what to expect as well. But I always deliver on time. That's very important to me, but the expectations are there with the clients to know that, there may be some situations where things are a little different than they were the previous week. But so it's really just being honest up front, and also honest up front with ourselves that this is not working in an office.
You are traveling with 4 kids currently and 2 dogs and your husband. How do you do all that without going crazy?
Well, our blog is called Crazy Family Adventure. So we just accept the crazy. We just are crazy. Like, that's just our life, right? I just recently wrote a post on our blog called How We Manage or Don't, Traveling Full-Time, Working, and Living, all together. So I did just write a post about that. So I go into a little bit more detail about, how we do that. But yeah, we do go crazy. Like, I mean, that's the beauty of this lifestyle, though, is like, we love that part of it. We love that part of like these highs and lows of our emotions and just figuring this out together. And do we have all the answers? Absolutely not. Are we doing a really good job with all of it? Absolutely not. But it's okay, because we're on this journey that we're learning and we're growing as a family, as individuals, as people. So yeah, we literally, there's times when I'll put a plan in place where I work 1 day a week, and I work that 1 day a week for a good solid 12 hours. I get the majority of my stuff done. And then the rest of the week, I just pick up bits and well, for my husband, that schedule doesn't work as well with what he does. So he does it, now we've switched to where we're working like 4 hours a day. And then during that 4 hours, the kids are just kind of on their tablets, or they're, running around playing outside. And it's this constant, like, just having to change and ebb and flow and just really kind of go with what is in our life and what's happening at that time and where we're traveling that day and where we are and who's with us. Are my parents there to help with the kids, or aren't they? Or are we in the middle of nowhere and we have no internet? And, so it's really just about really that ebb and flow and just trying to enjoy life and enjoy this journey and still make money.
Cool. One of the things I wanted to ask you about is, I understand that you teach people how to start a virtual business so that they can travel full time. So this would be a great time to, tell us a little bit more about the course and what's involved in it, how you decided to come up with it, and maybe we'll put a link to the course in the description below. So.
Perfect. So one of the questions that we get asked all the time is, how do you afford to travel full time? I think people think like we won the lottery, or like we're trust fund kids, or, something like that. So it was like, no, like we've worked, to be at this point, we're building our business. And they wanted to know, well, how did you do it? How did you build your business? So after getting asked this question, literally like week after week after week, we decided we need to put this all together in a course so that we can share it with other people. So if they want to get on the road full time with their family, they can. So that led us to put together the course. And the course is basically exactly how I got my business off of the ground. So it starts off with talking about how to choose your business. So a lot of times people don't know what to do with the business. So it starts with choosing your business and walks through a questionnaire that kind of gives you some hints and tips to kind of get your mind wrapped around the direction you should go with your business. And then after you've done that, how to get started. So what are the real basic things that you need to have in place in order to start your business? And the course is big on, you don't have to have this $5,000 beautiful website out there. You don't even have to have all the answers yet. But here's just the few basic things you need at least to start getting paying clients and get your business off the ground. And then the third thing is finding clients. So how do you find those first clients? Like, how do I get people to pay me for this? So it walks through how to find clients and different tips and tricks for that. And then the fourth thing is business tools. So being on the road, I don't have this big arsenal full of like an office packed with all these amazing like business tools, but I have a lot of great online tools. So what are the tools you really need to have in order to build a business? And then the fifth thing is simplifying. So I'm assuming if you want to travel full time, that one of your big focuses is the travel part. So you don't want to have a business that's super complicated. You want a business that's simplified so that you can spend a lot of time still traveling. So I get into some tips and tricks on how to do that. And then the last thing is networking. So how can you continue to network while you're on the road to continue to grow your client base and continue to have a successful business? And then we are currently putting together another portion of it that talks about the business blockers. So what are the 3 business blockers that stop people from having a business, starting a business, being successful in it? And they touch on overthinking, not setting deadlines, and being afraid of not having all the answers before you get your business off the ground. So all of that is involved in the course, and there's over 35 different lessons you go through in the course to help you get everything you basically need to really get a business off of the ground and up and running. And for you guys today on the podcast, if you're interested in joining, I do have a $50 off coupon code that you can use. So if you use the code DNM, so Digital Nomad Mastery, DNM50, you will get $50 off the course as well. So yeah, so that's the gist of it. And if you go to the link down below in the description, you can see our page. It has all of the information about the course and tells you a little bit more about it, a video of me walking through it, and just really helps tell you more about what you're going to get in the course.
I hate to ask you this, but can you repeat that coupon code? Because I'm going to put it in the description right now.
No, of course. DNM50. So Digital Nomad Mastery 50.
Got it.
All right.
So Bryanna, maybe you could share a little bit about how do you educate your kids? Because a lot of people ask the money question, how do you make money? And a lot of people ask me as well this question about how do we make money? How do we teach our kids what they should be learning in a traditional school?
Okay, well, our kids aren't learning what you learn in traditional school, and we're okay with that. So we are actually unschooling our kids, and I know for some people that's a dirty word. For us, it is not. We are big believers in unschooling, and we actually on our blog, we have a section just that talks about unschooling and unschooling resources to go to. The way I look at it is we're still learning how to unschool. Our oldest is 9. So we're going through the process of learning what this looks like for our family. But in the most part, they are learning from experience. They're learning from being at a place and smelling it and feeling it and touching it and just being part of it. So a lot of what we're doing through our teaching is just experience-based, reading to our kids. If they're interested, we answer 100 questions a day. It's just being very involved, but it's nothing formal. It is no curriculum, it's no testing, it's no worksheets, and it's kind of just, again, it's ebbing and flowing. We're figuring out as the kids get older what their interests are, what works for them, but we've taken the unschooling approach, and we've been very, very happy with what we've seen with the kids and how they're progressing, not in a traditional school schedule, but progressing for each of them as an individual, and where their skills are going and what they're learning and the pace they're learning at. So it's working for us, but we are by no means experts in it. So I always point people to our blog to go see what the experts have to say about it and learn from them if this is a route that you want to go, because there's people with kids who are now either in college or out of college or whatever it may be that have unschooled all the way through very successfully. So I say, go talk to them, because they've been doing it a lot longer than I have. But yes, that is what we're doing with our kids.
And how do you deal with the socialization of the kids? Because these are the questions I'm struggling with too. I have 3 kids. They're a little bit younger than yours. Mine's 5. I have a 5-year-old daughter, then a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old son. And those are the struggles we're facing now, is the whole unschooling, kind of world schooling, road schooling, self-directed learning approach, and the socialization. Because obviously they socialize together, but we're struggling to find kids outside of our own for them to connect with.
Yeah, we really have not had any problem with that. There's times that I'm like, can we please just go somewhere it's just our family? And I feel like it's because, well, one, when we go to campgrounds, we know what campgrounds to go to where we're going to find other kids. And usually on the weekend, you're going to find other kids at campgrounds. And everyone at campgrounds are super friendly. They're there to like have fun and play and whatever. So our kids meet a lot of like kids that way. And then also through different groups that we're part of. Like we're part of the full-time family group here in the US that has a lot of other full-time traveling families. So if we're going somewhere and we want to meet up with other people, we'll just shoot a message on there like, hey, we're going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. Anyone here? And then we connect with people that way. I know there's World School Connect too that I believe you guys talked to CJ about. So just using different Yeah, so just using different platforms like that to try to connect with people. But then as we've been traveling over the years, we've also made connections with families that now we stay in touch with. So we'll purposely meet up with. Like, oh, you guys gonna go here? Yeah, we'll meet you guys there too. And then we'll spend a couple of weeks together. So it's really just being very proactive with, if we feel our kids are needing other interaction with other kids, we'll just really reach out to all these networks and the friends we've made online and kind of say, hey, where are you? What are you guys doing? Can we come meet up with you? And really, like, we could basically every week be meeting with other families if we wanted to. And there's times we choose not to, because for us, the most important relationship our kids can have is with each other as siblings. Because who are going to be your best friends for your whole life? Your siblings. I mean, that's our goal. That's what we want. So that's always our main focus. But then outside of that, and of course, my daughter is 7 and she's on, FaceTime with her friends, and she's on Musical.ly, and, she's doing all those things. So this online world helps make it where, they can easily stay in touch with, friends around the world too.
Well, it sure sounds exciting, Bryanna, what you're doing.
Yeah, no, we're really enjoying it. We're having a lot of fun with it, and it's been a roller coaster ride, to say the least. But the roller coaster ride of it is part of the reason why we do it. And the ups are high and the lows are low, and the scary part is really scary. But we wouldn't change it. Like, it's definitely an experience that now that we've gone down this path, living a traditional life would not be as fun.
All right. So what does home mean to you as a digital nomad?
Home to me is my family. And that's pretty much what home is. We've talked about, like, our family being our home base. So me and my husband, our 4 kids, our dog, like, that's like our home base to us. And where we park it, that's great. As long as our family's together, like, that's what home is to us. It's about our family and having those relationships and what that is be the most important thing.
And what's your long-term vision now? I mean, obviously you're living this lifestyle. I can tell you're loving it, even though there are those ups and lows and everything in between. Where do you see yourself going in the next 3 to 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, we don't know. We don't even know where we're going to be like in the month of August. So no, we talk about it now and then about what we want to do, and we'd love to do some overseas travel. We've talked about finding a home base somewhere where maybe we stay, put for maybe 4 or 5 months at a time, and then travel the other part of the year. Or maybe it's 2 months in one spot, 4 months in another. But we've definitely talked about wanting to do like some type of overseas type of travel. Going for, again, months at a time and then coming back here. Our home base will always be in Wisconsin and in the U.S. We have a lot of great family and friends here. So we know we'll always be coming back here, throughout the year. But we've talked about wanting to just, get overseas and see all of that as well. So, but again, we're open. So if another opportunity came up, then that may be what we do too. So I don't know if you guys feel it, but I know for us, like this idea of this constant freedom, like we wake up every morning and like our day is ours. What are we going to do with it? Can be a very overwhelming thing. So it's also trying to figure, as much as we love it, it's also overwhelming. No one's telling us what to do. We could do whatever we want. What are we going to do? So it's, definitely just always eyes and ears open for opportunities that are out there, and also keeping a pulse on our kids and like what's working for them, and like, do they need us to stop for a little while to settle in somewhere? Is that going to benefit them or not? And we always have a very open conversation with them around, do you guys want to keep traveling? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And granted, there's 6 of us, so we don't all get to make the choice, but we have that open conversation so that we can make sure that we're meeting everyone in the family's needs as well, and make sure we know what that is.
Wonderful. All right. Well, Bryanna, I want to thank you very much for sharing all this great information. It's really exciting. And between Ricky and you, Ricky's got 3 children under 5, and you've got four children, and you're homeschooling. It makes me really regret that I didn't spend more time doing exactly what you two are doing, because now I'm an empty nester and I'm going all over the place. And but when my children were about 4 and 6, we spent 3 months in the California, Arizona, Nevada area, and I did a little bit of homeschooling, and it was just tremendous. And I think, man, it would have been great to spend a little more time with the kids doing that.
No, we hear that all the time from people too, like, oh, I wish I would have done it, or I wish I am, or, I wish I could. And like, my big thing is you can. You just have to make the decision, make it a priority, and make it happen. And everything is never going to align perfectly. It's not going to be like, oh, 2019 will be the perfect year to go. It's like, no, there's no perfect time, to do it. It's just more a matter of just making the choice and making the decision. And like I said, we weren't entrepreneurs when we started off on this journey, yet we've become that. And it's, that in ourselves, we've grown as individuals, my husband and I, more than we knew we were doing when we signed up for this. When you sign up for we're going to be on vacation all the time. They're like, no, not quite. So it's been just if anyone's listening and thinking they want to do it, my best advice is just do it. Make it happen. Go for it. You're going to cry. You're going to be scared. You're going to be freaked out. But in the end, and even if it doesn't work out, in the end, you'll be happy that you tried and you went for it, and then know that you're making, your own choices in your life.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. And Ricky, I'm going to turn it over to you to wrap up because you do such a great job of it.
Thanks, my friend. So, Bryanna, I know you have a couple of online businesses, the crazyfamilyadventure.com website, and also virtualpowerhouse.com. Maybe you can end off by telling us a little bit about those sites and what you do in them and how can people connect with you.
Perfect. Yeah, so crazyfamilyadventure.com is our travel blog where we talk about full-time travel. We talk about destinations to take your kids to and what to do there, and also talk about working from the road, so our experiences of working from the road. And then on Virtual Powerhouse, and also on Crazy Family Adventure, on our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, all that, we share like pretty much daily what we're doing. So if you want to follow along on our journey, hit up those social channels as well, and you can follow along daily on our journey, Facebook Live, Instagram stories, all that fun stuff. And then Virtual Powerhouse is our business, and on there we do social media, blogging, newsletters, website design for small businesses. Also, Pinterest is a new one that we're taking on and doing a lot with. So if you're interested in learning about any of that, virtualpowerhouse.com, check that out. And then, definitely shoot me an email, a contact, through that website or through Crazy Family Adventure. Or through Facebook or Instagram, we'll connect one way or another. And then, so you can definitely stay in touch with us there. And then our course is on crazyfamilyadventure.com under shop. It says work from the road. And then you can find the information there about our course about how to start a virtual business so you can travel full time. And would love to have you be part of that group. We have a private Facebook group there where we, I constantly am touching in with people and, answering questions and kind of helping you through your journey. So yeah, Crazy Family Adventure, virtualpowerhouse.com, and Facebook, Instagram, wherever. You guys know how that online world is.
Thank you, Bryanna. And make sure you purchase a course. We have an affiliate link as well. If you purchase through that link, it obviously helps us, Scott and me, to pay off our bills and to keep traveling. So appreciate that to help the podcast going here. Bryanna obviously has a wealth of info about things like, how she sold a house and made her dreams come true, homeschooling, world schooling, unschooling, everything in betweening, and just making money online. So make sure you connect with her on our blog. And as you can tell, she's very eager to help out, give back into support, as we all are as digital nomads who have made it or who are making it and want to help other digital nomad wannabes.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me on, guys. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me on.
So thanks, everyone. Make sure you subscribe to our show on iTunes. Leave us a rating and review. That really helps us to go up the iTunes and other podcast directories. Make sure you subscribe us on YouTube if you like watching these interviews as well. And make sure you connect with us on all the different social media platforms as well. We'll see you in the next episode of Digital Nomad Mastery.